I've always loved the great outdoors. When I was a boy, climbing mountains with my dad, and now taking my family to wild places. So when I go away with work, speaking at a conference or whatever I'm doing, I always try and sneak an adventure in on the side. To be honest, they don't always go to plan. So it's time to call in the experts and take it to the next level.
Well, I'm in the beautiful Swiss Alps and I'm about to meet two really experienced climbers who hopefully are going to help me climb the biggest mountain I've ever summited. Hey!
Hey Andrew!
Hey Meg, good to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
This is Tamsin.
Hey Tamsin, it's nice to meet you. Yeah. Cool.
Meg's travelled the globe as safety consultant for Bear Grylls, and Tamsin's a glacier expert. She'll be taking care of Andy, our mountain goat cameraman.
Great, so where are we headed?
So we're basically going to go from the valley level here, and we're going to go right up to the top, up there,
Wow.
up to the cloud. Yeah,
How high is that?
over 4,000 meters.
Just over,
Yeah.
brilliant.
So it's a mix of vertical rock climbing
On these crags here.
in
Okay,
these crags
yeah.
here, into narrow ridgeline, and then onto the glacier, and up onto
Okay.
the top.
Yeah, cool.
So what's your climbing like?
We'll find out. Well, it's one thing to study this map, but it's going to be a whole other thing to climb this mountain. I'm so looking forward to the adventure. And it's so different to this flat, sort of one-dimensional thing where everything looks so straightforward, to actually discovering what it feels like to stand on the top and see the big picture. You know, I'm a Christian, and at one time that word just meant a flat map, you know, something abstract about being morally good and being religious. But then I went on a journey of faith and I discovered something that's much more like a mountain. It's beautiful, it's majestic, it's actually something that changed me. And what helped me was this part of the Bible called Romans. It was written by a guy called Paul who hated Jesus and Christianity. And then he went on the journey and discovered something beautiful in it that transformed him. And maybe that's something you could have as well. Come on this journey with me. We'll go up the mountain together and I'll talk through the big picture from Romans of what Christianity is really all about. Who knows what we might experience together?
So still got several thousand meters
Yeah,
to
but-
go.
Whoa! What about this?
Yeah, so here we've got two options. Either we head downstreamly into the daylight hours where there's definitely a safe option, or we go straight down.
Whoa!
What do you reckon?
I thought you were taking me up the mountain, not down.
Well, sometimes you have to go down to go back up again.
Yeah.
But we've got the skills, we've got the knowledge, we've got the equipment with us.
Yeah.
It's just about trust. It's your choice.
Love it. We go down.
Let's do it.
Well, you know, Meg was right. Sometimes you do have to go down before you can begin to go up. And that's actually how the shape of the Christian story plays out. Yeah, that's me. I'm good. In Romans, Paul celebrates how beautiful the world is that God's made. But then it's like we reach the edge of this cliff and we fall down to a low place where he begins to describe all that's wrong with our human condition. He sums it up pretty emphatically in Romans 3, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. That word sin is not exactly popular, is it? And these might be hard truths that we don't always want to face, but don't they resonate with what we really feel? I mean, I've not even kept my own standards, let alone God's. I have fallen down to low places. I have sometimes hurt other people on the way down. So actually, we might not want to hear it. We might not want to be here in the low place. But doesn't it make sense? Doesn't it resonate with what we know about ourselves and our world? It's beautiful, but it's broken all at the same time. We are loved, and yet we're lonely. All these things are true. But the good news is, when you reach rock bottom, the only way is up.
From that low valley, we head on up to the foot of a rock face. Here we'll rope up, climb to a peak that marks the midpoint of our adventure, and then we'll be up onto the glacier.
Well, we've reached the Crux Pitch. This is the really steep, scary bit. And if we get through this, we're going to be good. But this is, whoa. Well, when we were down there, I didn't think it was that bad. But now you stand underneath this face and it's like, that is steep. And I cannot do this on my own. Meg's going to go on ahead. She's the lead climber. I'm roped to her. I'm going to be good. She's going to set up an anchor. We're going to do this.
When we become aware of problems in our lives, our first reaction can be to try and fix them ourselves. But that's easier said than done.
Climb, Meg!
Okay.
Now, it might surprise you to know that God doesn't expect us to fix ourselves. Good intentions, sheer willpower, they can't sort it. The mountain's too steep. God's standards are too high to scale all on our own.
Whoa, this is steeper than I'd imagined. But I am loving it. I've never been so grateful for a solid rope and someone leading me who knows what they're doing. This is epic.
Instead of doing life solo, we need help to get out of the low places we end up in. We need someone on the other end of the rope.
Oh, these are the moments I love on an adventure. You know, you've made it out of the really challenging bit. We've come out of that valley, that low point, up the Crux Pitch, the really tricky point, and now, oh, beautiful, what a place to rest. And who'd have thought it? There's a cross here as well. Apparently they built these on alpine peaks because the shepherds couldn't go down to church in the valleys because of their work, but they could come up here. And it's perfect also because the cross is the very center of the Christian message. You cannot understand what Christianity is about until you've understood the cross on which Jesus died. Paul in Romans summarizes it this way: when we were utterly helpless, Christ came at just the right time and died for us. On the cross, Jesus took upon himself all of the things that we've done wrong, all of the stuff that leaves us trapped in that valley of shame, guilt and sin and regret. He took it, he died for it, so that we can come out of that place and find a new resting place. Christianity is not about what you can do for God, it's about what God has done for you. He loves you, and the cross is the ultimate demonstration. What a place to take it in.
While the cross brings us peace with God, a life of faith is never passive. You know, in Romans, faith is gritty and gutsy. It's stepping out, taking risks. It's my life connected to Jesus. What he enjoys, I learn to enjoy. What he avoids, I avoid. Where he leads, I go, following his footsteps all the way.
Well, we're high up on the glacier now, and it feels a bit more intimidating. There are crevasses beneath us, this massive serac hanging over the head of us, which we hope won't fall. We had that beautiful moment by the cross in the sunshine, but that's a moment of faith. And beyond that is the life of faith, the adventure of faith. And just because you become a Christian, that doesn't mean life's going to be easy.
This is how Paul puts it in Romans. He says, suffering helps us endure, and endurance builds character, which gives us a hope that will never disappoint us.
Epic! Oh wow, the Matterhorn. Ah. from these high points, you get such an amazing view. All the things that didn't really make sense down there, now you can sort of piece it all together, the big picture, that vision of where we've come from and, if you like, where we're looking to, the beautiful Matterhorn over my shoulder. Paul does that. He looks back to our past, and Romans 8 verse 1 says, there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Your past is no longer defining your future. Instead, Paul looks beyond to a hope beyond this life, the ultimate far horizon, the new creation, where this broken world, God will put it right again. And not just the world, but we humans as well. Because of what Jesus has done for us through the cross, there's hope for our future. We'll have new resurrected bodies like his that don't get sick and no longer die. And we will enjoy a planet put right by God. What a hope. And when life's tough down in the valleys, this is the kind of vision you've got to remind yourself of. It's going to be worth it. Keep plodding, keep going, keep trusting. What a vision, what a view, what a hope.
That summit view was so inspiring. When we grasp the big picture of God's plan for our lives and the whole world, it gives a new perspective. As Romans puts it, in view of God's mercy, offer yourselves to God. Now I know He loves me. I can trust His plan for my life. I'm part of something much bigger, and I'm not on my own.
Well, what an amazing adventure we've had. It was partly the mountain, but also the great people I got to climb with. Life is about taking on the challenges, isn't it? And overcoming the obstacles. That's what I think it means to be a Christian. It's the adventure of taking on the things that are wrong in this world and seeing good come instead. I love the way Paul puts it at the end of Romans. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. As we follow Jesus, we have the inspiration and the hope that He brings, and we can make a difference in the world. So our adventure up the mountain is over. It was one thing to see it on the map, it was another thing to experience it in person. Maybe you're ready for the real adventure of faith, to take that step of trust and to walk into a new life with Jesus. Go for it. Who knows what might happen?